I'll mute
And
myself
welcome.
here. Thank you for having me.
Uh, Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, Umar, we can hear you.
Yes, Umar.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining. So it's time, and it's good to see that we are starting on time. As you can see, the people have joined already. That's great. So let's get started. So who's gonna go first?
I can go first if that's okay.
Yeah, I think that's okay. Umar, is that okay?
Yep, sure.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen. Let me know when you can see it. Can you guys see it?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, awesome. So, hello everyone. My name is Mufaddal Ferozporwala, and today I'm going to be talking about I'm going to be talking about Salesforce maps. So, just a heads up. So, a little about myself. So, I have a little over 1 year of experience in the Salesforce ecosystem, and I'm a Salesforce certified administrator. And also, disclaimer regarding Salesforce Maps is that it's kind of a new product for Salesforce, and I've been playing around with it for just a couple of months so far. And obviously, I'm not an expert at it myself. So, I'm going to try to, just give you like a basic and very thorough introduction and overview of what Salesforce Map is and what this product entails, right? So, without further ado, I'm going to get into it. So, the agenda for today, so we're going to start with Salesforce Maps overview, and then we're going to go into upcoming sales what's new, and then we're going to do a Q&A. So, Salesforce Maps overview, right? Introducing Salesforce Maps. So, what is Salesforce Maps? So, it provides it gives you key location insights. It's generally aimed at reps, right? So reps need to have all the insights that they need, and uh, sorry about that. So visualize key location, or reps need all the location insights that they need, like when they're traveling, when on field reps, they need to go visit door to door, they need to like tackle leads and opportunities and all of that. So that's one thing that Salesforce Map offers. And then guided field teams. So if you're in a team of reps, right? So if like there's 5 reps in one team, then they should be able to see. Then Salesforce Maps will allow each of them to be able to see what the other person's territory is, what their plan of the day is, what they're going to visit for today, what they're going to do, which opportunities or leads or accounts they're going to cover for the day or for the week. Based on this, the management or the execs can allocate resources more intelligently, right? So obviously geographical locations play a vital role in like on-field sales reps' job, right? So if you know where the sales reps is coming from, and what is there, like what is, you can mark their territories basically, and then assign them relevant accounts based on their geographic location. So I'm going to get into more details for each of these things. So let's go forward. All right, so use cases and capabilities. So sales. For salespeople, it's for like basically you can schedule your productivity, you know where to go, you can create your routes, and you'd have an entire map of what you need to do for today or this week. You can optimize your territory, and you can plan your entire day based on, like, you just open your maps on your phone or in your laptop or whatever, and you know that, all right, I can see these 7 locations, you know how many miles they're going to be or kilometers. And based on that, you can plan your entire day. You can, with your team, you can plan which territory you're going to cover and which territory they need to cover. For the service industry, it's for like tech deployment or any kind of service that you're giving. So you need to have a geographical visibility, right? So service industries can leverage Salesforce Maps for that. New customer install scheduling. So if there's a new customer coming in,
I'm sorry for further, but to hold you, but we are seeing the introduction to Salesforce Maps screen. If you're showing another one,
oh wait, sorry. Um, I've gone way ahead. So let me actually put on present. Can you see? Let me see. So show
why
presenter.
don't you turn on the presenter mode? That would be more helpful.
Okay, so can you see now?
We are seeing the whole Microsoft PPT screen.
Okay.
Fifth slide, we are seeing the fifth slide.
Why? Okay, that's strange. I'm in the presenter view, just by the way.
Maybe I've shared the wrong window, probably.
Give me a second. Let me reshare my screen. Okay, I'm sharing again. Okay, so can you see now?
Yes,
You
this
should be
looks
seeing
fine.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, see. Okay, so this is moving, right? Okay. Awesome. So, all right, so I'm gonna like continue from where we left off. So I've given the basic overview, right? And I was on this screen when I was explaining. So the sales, service, and marketing industries, how they can leverage the Salesforce map. So I just covered what a sales like a sales team can do with this tool, what a service team can do with this tool, such as like when they need to have tech deployments or new customers install scheduling and plan their territory and all of that. So Salesforce Maps is like an awesome tool to take care of that. For marketing, it's for high value lead alignment. We're going to get to this. This is something that's an upcoming feature of Salesforce, so we're going to get to this, and also to competitive campaigns. So let me go forward with this. All right. So now diving deep into the overview. So Salesforce Maps, the first thing and the most important thing that it offers is obviously visualize your territory, right? So Salesforce Maps is built on the Salesforce platform itself, so it can do much more than just visualize your data. But like it can interact with your data, it can change your data in Salesforce as needed. Let's say you have a business requirement to visit all of your opportunities projected to close this month, right? So visualize the locations of your opportunity. You can do visualize them by stage, and you can set accounts, and then see if this is your first visit or have you visited them before. You can log your calls, you can enter notes, you can also uh, enter visits, that if you visited a place, it would check as okay, this place has been visited by this rep. And you can also change the required fields. This can all be achieved within the Salesforce Maps interface. And for sales management teams, every meeting is a potential new opportunity, right? Pretty much every meeting is like a new opportunity. You need your team spending more time with your customers and less time planning and driving and logging calls and all of that. So sales team are always looking for ways to automate the sales process. They want to improve territory mapping, improve, like, get increased lead generation, and ultimately increase sales to positively impact their bottom line, right? So Salesforce Map supports each of these business goals. Like you can increase sales by geographically visualizing data with Salesforce Maps to identify clustered customers. Like you can know that okay, this particular 10-mile radius has like the most cluster, um, and you can then improve territory mapping, increase lead generation, and like when you identify your clustered customers and plan your sales route based on the travel time. So the map, Salesforce Maps, will actually give you how much time you're going to need to cover these. Like let's say you have 10 customers in a 5-mile radius, so it's going to give you the amount of time that you're going to need to travel so that you can plan your day accordingly, right? So that's like something like a sales rep can really use, right? Also, you can use maps on your mobile devices to help find nearby accounts and fill gaps, if an account cancels last minute, right? So you can simply take your phone out and you can see, open your maps, and you can visualize your travel path right then and there. Like from where you're standing, it would just reroute your entire day planning if someone cancels. So you can, you not to waste even a minute of your time. It would simply put on a new account in that place if an appointment get canceled, right? So to make sure that you have maximum productivity for the day. Then it also offers live tracking. It allows you to put a pin on the map to track the location of your delivery drivers or your technicians or any assets in your organization, right? So, like for example, when we're using an app, a rideshare app like Uber or something, so we pin our own location and then our driver's location who we're waiting for, right? So it's something similar to that. So basically, executives or you yourself can have a view that, oh, I have six other team members in this same location or this proximity, so I should rather not go over there because people are already there. And you can coordinate based on, you can tell someone that, okay, I can see that you're in district A and had a client over there, so you can tell them to take up that client, and you can take another client who's nearby where you're standing, right? And like think about an app that and it's also an app that would help you avoid traffic. It provides you with the best way to get from one point to another. Simple enough, right? But things get more complex when an entire organization wants to optimize site visits, right? Not only are many people visiting many customers with various stops along the way, but they must make smart decisions about who to visit first, when to visit them based on business rules and all sorts of requirements. With Salesforce Maps, companies can see lots of customers efficiently and ensure that they're seeing the right customers based on business needs. And territory planning, we're actually going to get to this, so let's go forward now. So, we've covered how we visualize your territory, guide sellers to maximize revenue, navigate visits efficiently and effectively. So now, once you're on the road, you need to optimize. These are a couple of things that you need to do, right? You need to optimize scheduling in real time based on location, traffic info, etc. You need to build visit sequence of where you're going to go, what's supposed to be your priority for the day, for the week, based on geographic locations. And you can fill calendar gaps, as I suggested. If someone cancels, an opportunity cancels, you can quickly fill in that gap. If your calendar frees up, you can simply fill it in by knowing, okay, this account cancel, another nearby account is still something that I can visit, right? And then check in and check out. This is one of the most important features in the sense that once you've visited a place, you can check in. So people, all your reps and all your management, if they go into the maps, they can see that, okay, Mufaddal has checked in on this district for this client. And when you check out from that place, it would signify that, okay, this particular client or opportunity has been dealt with. A rep has already visited them, right? So this would basically, uh, when you've set your route for the day, you check in a place, then you check out, so that your route keeps shrinking, and by the end of the day, you've checked in everywhere and checked out from everywhere. You can also create follow-up tasks directly from Salesforce Maps, which would then reflect in Salesforce. You can have workers log mileage of how much they covered in a day or a week or a month, so the amount of miles that they've logged for this particular day or week. And then maximize revenue with territory planning. So territory planning is obviously a very essential and very important part of a sales team, right? And data visualization also provides insight into territory planning alignment boundaries, right? This data helps you to determine how many reps are needed in a specific territory and exactly where they need to be to maximize sales resource capacity, right? With territory planning, companies can build, they can collaborate on, and they can optimize the perfect sales territory to eliminate guesswork and align with business goals. Because, like, you'll be able to see everyone, all your team members on the field on a map. They'll all show up as a driver or a sales rep, so you can then directly with like a 20,000 feet view, you can see an entire map with all your scattered resources, so you can plan things accordingly when you know for sure of where they are at this point in time. So territory planning is a very, very essential tool what the Salesforce Maps offers. And so with that, you can align your sales reps and they can collaborate and everything, like deploy with ease. So if you see the colors in this uh, map screen over here, so you're going to see that territories are divided by cities or like by by states, and then you can assign each territory. You can know how many people you need in one territory, and then you can assign each rep based on that, based on the color. And now when you open this up, you know where my accounts are, where my reps are. Based on purple, I know, okay, purple is Washington, and it's these sales reps' territory. So I can have like an entire view of everything. Moving on. So automated visit scheduling, right? So we can uh, it will show us like if the customer or the rep, it'll show us their availability. We can then prioritize their visits, historical traffic patterns. So maps will also help us identify that you should not go to this account today, because it can show us that this may, and a 1 hour or 2 hour traffic delay. It'll show us our fixed appointments. We can directly reschedule our missed visits. We can do this all within the Salesforce map interface. Just by the way, we don't need to go into our Salesforce interface, and we can do this everything from mobile, because that's the most important thing for the sales reps who are on the field, right? So how would that work? So the manager or sales ops can like create an entire plan. Then the reps would like confirm that okay, they're going to work this many hours in the day, and they start their plan. Like, okay, the sales rep or the op or manager has given them that this is the entire route for you to cover today or within the week. And the rep would confirm based on how many hours the maps is showing for their day plan. And then once that's confirmed, the reps can view in Salesforce Maps that okay, this is my route. This is what I have to do. Once they wake up, once they start their job, they know exactly what they need to do today, right? So that was the basic overview and the foundations of what Salesforce Maps offers. They've also launched a couple of new features in Winter 22 release. So I'm just going to quickly touch upon those as well, and then we can move on if you have any questions. So yeah, so the first three, sales operations, field planning, field execution, we've already discussed. Upcoming initiatives are internationalization, accessibility, and ease of use, right? So let me get into this. So, two new things which are very important, in my opinion, are engage leads faster. So now with Salesforce, so now with Salesforce Maps, you can engage your leads very fast. Like we're going to see how that happens. And you can also drive global scale. Like now if you have a global team working on like in 10, 20 different countries, you can also work with that. You're not just confined to like North America or anything anymore. So jump on leads faster by streamlining automating assignment. Now, what does that mean? So, like in most sales industries, it's very important that whichever sales rep would, first contact their lead is most likely to close their lead, right? So now, with the help of Salesforce Map, what we can do is like again, territory planning comes in over here. So when let's say you're on the field and a lead comes in, a lead gets assigned to you from Salesforce. So at that very point in Salesforce Map, you will be able to see that okay, I'm standing over here and I just got assigned a lead, which is how many miles away and or how many minutes away. So this is like live location tracking of you and any leads coming in. So you can prioritize it right then and there. Now you know that okay, a lead just got assigned to me 5 minutes ago and it's like 20 minutes drive from here. Now you'd prioritize your day differently. So this is something that's coming in the new release. Another thing which is coming in is the globalization of Salesforce Maps. So now territory planning will not only be confined to your particular state or the country that you're coming from, but like it'll come from the entire world where your reps are present, right? So it's like you can use an interactive data coverage map to easily identify which countries are supported by Salesforce Map, because at present not all countries are supported by Salesforce Map. It's like so we need to first, a global organization needs to confirm whether which territories are covered by Salesforce Maps, and by after they know that, then they can make decisions, and then they can assign maps users and sales reps to use this functionality. Next, what happens is, so it's like if you have teams all around the world, then you can support international growth, right? Like by, for example, if you have people coming in from Asia or from Europe and all, and they all don't speak English, so Maps also offers a portfolio of all languages that it's available in, and you can use like different tools and then appropriate currencies, date and time formats, and your distance metrics and everything would be altered based on where the rep is globally located in. So it's not only confined to, the standard English and the key metrics that are followed in North America, right? So I believe that is also a very important feature that they're bringing in, and that would be all for the Salesforce Maps, foundational overview. So thank you very much. And if anyone has any questions or answers, so feel free to, post a comment.
Mufaddal, that was a great session, and also thank you for sharing the updates. Um, so if you got any questions, you can post on a Q&A tab or a general tab. We're gonna wait for a couple of minutes, and then we're gonna shift to Umar for the introduction to Tableau CRM. So Mirza is asking that is there any tutorial modules or for practice available?
Yes, there are plenty of Trailhead modules available, and they'll cover like everything from the basic overview and what their new features, and like there are a lot of trails in Trailhead, so you can simply search for Salesforce Maps overview, and you'll find a lot of trails over there.
All right, I hope this answers your question. All right, I cannot see any more questions, so let's go to the Umar. Umar, can you
Okay, I've stopped sharing
share?
my screen. Thank you.
So there are a couple of people asking. So I'm guessing projects to hands-on. Um, well, I'm not sure if that's a real question or what, but Ashim Ansari is saying I have a question about what it is. Okay, you go. Say thank you first of all. I highly appreciate you and your team. I have two questions. I hope you properly explain it. All right, let me see where did you post your questions.
I think I can see one
Yeah.
question that they're saying, when we should use map over the list. I think there is a miscommunication. So this is Salesforce Maps. Like it's not related to the map that we usually do versus the list. Correct me if I'm wrong, Asim. Like we're talking about geographical Salesforce maps. Yeah, so Map Anything is basically the company that started this. So Salesforce acquired Map Anything, and now they've turned it into their own product called Salesforce Map. So basically, this entire product was developed and sold for quite a few years under the name of Map Anything. I hope that answers your question.
All right, great. I cannot see any more questions, so Umar, you're good to go. Thanks, Mufaddal, for the
Thank
wonderful
you.
session. All right, I can see one more question from Ankit. I'm asking to where I'll get hands-on practice modules.
So you can search for on Trailhead for Salesforce Maps overview and for Salesforce Maps basics. So you'll see a lot of modules over there which you can cover with some hands-on practice.
Mufaddal, can you share the pricing?
Yes. So the pricing for Salesforce Maps so the basic version is for $75 uh, per month per user, and then it also offers some advanced features for different industries for which you have to pay an additional $25 per user per month along with the basic license.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also, Mufaddal, can you share the content of your session, like PPT, or something
Um,
helpful for the community?
so where would I share? So I could share the links of the Trailhead modules if that would work.
Yeah, I think that will.
Should I just share them in the comment section?
That have to work.
Okay, I'm just gonna post them on the comment section.
All right, Umar, you can start.
So, hello everyone. I hope you can hear me and can see my screen, right?
Yes, you can do both.
Okay. So, I am 5x certified. Total, I have 3 year of Salesforce experience. Today, I will going to present intro, an introduction on like basic walkover walkthrough of the Tableau CRM. So before we move toward Tableau CRM, you can see my second screen, right? Okay, okay. So before we move toward Tableau CRM, there is I want to give you a background knowledge. So usually in the data warehouse we have like two types of system. We have OLAP system and we have OLTP system. So usually when we have a requirement a business use case where we have to process the day-to-day functionalities, we usually do this using the OLTP system. Like mostly Salesforce is the OLTP system because it usually refers to the business to business, business to customer, and this kind of use cases, which is more likely a day-to-day cases. So there is like a huge area left, which is OLAP, which usually refers to the understanding of the past information of the data and to make certain decisions so that the company or their business process works or in order to help them plan for the future. So this kind of system works under the OLAP. So usually you may know like all of the banking system or all of the banking system, apps like Karim, they all are like OLTP system, and all of the system that usually used for the future related things, they comes under the OLAP. So Salesforce understands the importance of these analytic systems. So recently Salesforce has acquired the Tableau, a separate BI platform or OLAP platform, so that Salesforce may also focus on this area as well. That shows us how important this area is in the software industry. So again, before we move toward Tableau, usually when we talk about the ETL and the BI process, usually there are a lot of conventional ways to do that. Like if you are using the Google Cloud platform, you can use there's a separate product called Dataflow, which is actually using for the data transformation related things. The big query is to store the very complex big data like terabytes of data, and then there is a data studio, uh, a dashboard tool which is provided by the Google for the dashboard. As you can see here, I have mentioned what the Amazon and the other open source tools provide us in case if we have to implement an ETL or BI related uh, we have to solve a BI related problem. So it's actually very complicated. It depends on certain requirement which kind of tool we need to go through. Uh, but so but the Tableau CRM kind of like solves our problem here. We don't need to worry about all of these multiple tools. We don't need to worry about which particular use case we should more consider of, like for example, as you can see here, yeah, in the open source, Apache Spark is actually used for the streaming data, but Apache Airflow is not for the streaming data. So we have to consider a lot of factors. But when it comes to the Tableau, we don't need to worry about that part actually, because it cover all of these uh, use cases, and actually, like I can say, like most of them. It's not like 100%, but I can say 99% of the use cases, like what we need to do if data is like updating in the real time, if data is updating based on the monthly basis and things like that. So Tableau CRM is a complete product uh, that allows us to to solve all the problems related to the BI and the data transformation related thing. So it's a separate product. It's not actually like part in technical terms it's not actually a part of Salesforce like we have like sales and service cloud. It's not like that. It's a separate thing. Earlier it comes under the name of Einstein Analytics, but after that Salesforce has changed the whole architecture wise thing, as you can see in this picture. About a month ago this picture doesn't exist on their uh, main website, but from now on, as you can see here, what Salesforce is doing is Salesforce is allowing us to see the whole picture in which we have all of the relevant tools as well. Like you can see MuleSoft over here, we have over Slack, we have a Slack here which Salesforce has recently acquired. So Salesforce is what Salesforce is doing. Salesforce is using all of their tools to in order to provide a user so that they can meet each and every requirements of the user. As you can see here, it has been divided into multiple parts. Like there is an analytics part, it is separate one. We have a deployment part. We have an integration in which we can use some MuleSoft. If we want to interact with the user, we can use Slack as well. We don't need to just let's say if you're not using Salesforce, it's okay, you can use the integration with the Slack, and you can also embed your chatbots and dashboards into other websites. So this is not like a actual and technical differentiation. It's more like for understanding purposes, I divide the Tableau into two different things. The first part one is the analytics part, which you can say like it uh, uh, it covers the data collection part, the data transformation part, and visualization of the data part. The second one is the AI part, which in the Einstein or in the Tableau we call as a Einstein Discovery, or Einstein Discovery or Tableau Discovery, you can say, as per. So as Tableau is a separate, as I mentioned earlier, Tableau is a separate product, so it has multiple sub products in its umbrella. Like we have a Tableau desktop, we have a Tableau prep, we have, and then there is a separate product called Tableau CRM. So earlier Einstein Analytics comes kind of like comes directly under the umbrella of Customers 360, but it is still part of Customer 360. But what Salesforce is saying us to do is it is actually saying that from now on Einstein will also be the part of will also be the part of the Tableau, and uh, I- we will use the name of Tableau CRM to represent the Einstein. Regarding the AI part, that usually covers like there is a discovery part, there is a sales cloud AI part, there is a service cloud AI part. It also offers the AI products. AI products for the marketing cloud and commerce cloud, which we will look into this further in later. So when it comes to reporting, Salesforce does allow us the basic reporting and basic visualization, but it comes under certain limits, as you can see here. Like we cannot use the up to five formula fields in the report. There is a limitation of number of columns in the number of column. There is a limitation of number of filters and other limitations. But when it comes to the Tableau CRM, we don't really have any kind of limitation. Like I have worked on in Tableau, we have certain SQL like queries, and I have personally worked on queries which are like 900 100 lines actually, which is kind of uh, a huge one when we compare this functionality with the Salesforce report, because it's a very limited one. So as you can see, the other differentiation as well, that the Salesforce report doesn't offer us. So some of the use cases when client has extensive requirement of the business intelligence, and the Salesforce reporting and dashboarding tool is not allowing us to solve it, then we can move toward the Tableau CRM. So why should we move toward Einstein Analytics when we have say normal Salesforce report. Here are the few things that the Salesforce reporting cannot do. Like it can connect up to 100 objects. It's not just an object, it also can connect literally, if any of you has worked on the MuleSoft, we have like tons of multiple connectors. You can connect to any data set you want. You can connect to local or cloud based like Amazon, Azure, GCP. You can do that in the Einstein or in the Tableau as well. You can perform any kind of transformation. Like there is one use case where I have like around terabytes of data in the Google Cloud platform, and I needed to bring that information. I needed to transform and visualize that information in the Einstein. So what I did is I bring that data into the Salesforce, and then I transform it using its tools, and then I visualize it. So just imagine, not the terabyte. Let's say if the data is like 10 GB, imagining that data, in the Salesforce and using this data for the visualization, it would be a very difficult uh, very difficult thing to do. But with the Einstein, it was just with a very few point and click, I was able to do that. So it's as I mentioned, it also provide us historical analysis. We in Salesforce we have multiple ways of having the snapshots of data, like but Einstein provide us a very different approach to that. One of the reason that we should use Einstein, or we can use Einstein for the snapshot is it doesn't really have any kind of, you can say, like a size limit or field limit, or it can it has I'm not really sure about the exact number, but it has like a billion uh, rows limit in the data. So not only that, we can also let's say we have semi structured data, like let's say we have a case comment data in which we want to visualize and present the user what kind of case comments we have. Einstein has a capability to automatically perform the sentiment analysis and do all of the natural language processing, and it will tell you what the data is telling us, which is an actual English sentence in a charts, and we don't with some few one or two clicks. So we don't have to do anything at all. We don't need to like clean the data manually. Einstein can either do this just one or two click, or you can it allows us to do that with simple point and click features. So before we move forward, Einstein has like a three separate license feature, as I mentioned earlier, that we for understanding point of view, I divided the Tableau into two parts: the analytics part and the AI part. So as you can see here, the Einstein prediction one, the first one is actually covers only the AI part. The second one, the Tableau CRM growth, covers only the analytics part. And if you want both of them, then you can have the third one, Tableau CRM plus. As you can see here, it has prediction builder. The analytics studio is like you can say a separate component or a platform, which allows us to manipulate and visualize data. I will show you a demo later on how it does that. And then there is, as you can see here, we have a Einstein Discovery part and data insight part. Einstein Discovery is a separate product. I'm sorry to say, but the Discovery have a separate paid doc, which I don't have right now. But I will show you the demo of Analytics Studio and how we can do things over here. So usually it has tons of permission, but for a starter, you can yeah, you can look start with looking into these two permission sets: Tableau CRM growth admin, and user and the user permission set, as you can see over here. Again, if you have the growth license, then it would have Tableau CRM growth admin. If you have the plus license, then it would be Tableau CRM plus admin and user. So user sorry, the user permission set is usually focused if you want the user to only, just let's say, only visualize the dashboards and only visualize the the outputs of the AI and stuff. It doesn't allow us to edit anything, but only the admin can edit or update any of the charts and other things as well. So now I'm this is actually the part of the analytics one. So in the analytics one, we have certain we have like 4 to 5 different components. The first one we can say is like it allows us to, it has a separate functionality of the filters which is very dynamic, and it provides us a lot of features which I will show you later on. It also has provide us the performance metrics, like how much time the dashboard is taking to load up, is there is any particular you know thing that you should remove from the dashboard in order to make in order to make this faster. Then we have the charts part, and then we have a separate component as tables. As in the table part, we can also use some of the data warehouse related thing, like we can use for the pivot and things like that as well, which so here is a basic screenshot. As you can see in the in the top of the chart, we have filters, we have certain matrices and tables, and simple basic bar chart. So usually we in Tableau we call a simple subcomponent as an assets. So we have multiple set of subcomponent or assets over here. The first thing is the app, the data set, and the lens and data flow and recipe. So usually in the Salesforce, each and everything works in terms of objects actually. So we store the data, we set the permission based on the objects actually. Normally we do these things that way, but the Einstein, all of the things works in the app way, like for instance all the security, let's say all of the security and management, from the management point of view, all of the thing comes under the umbrella of app. We have an app, we set its security, we put all of the required items under in the app, and then the app we shared those particular apps with the relevant user. So all of the below assets are part of an app. We can create multiple app, like we can have if we have a sales sort of requirement, we can create a sales app. And if we have a service and anything else, we can think and plan things accordingly, according to the app. So the first thing is that then the second thing would be the data set. So in the data set, Einstein dataset is actually very different from the Salesforce. In Salesforce, we have multiple layers of security, but as I mentioned, in Einstein, we don't have that kind of security over here. We manage the security on the app level. So the first part is actually in the dataset is either connect the dataset with the Salesforce or with an external system, which I will show you later on how to connect that. Once it's connected, then we have in case if we need to transform it or do any kind of ETL, we can use this recipe. In the earlier I have mentioned that the tab Einstein has acquired Tableau. So from that point on, what Salesforce is doing is Salesforce is getting the features of Tableau Prep platform, which is a separate Tableau tool, into the recipe. So Tableau Prep is actually a separate tool for performing the ETL and data transformation and these kind of things. So it is, from time to time, they are adding more and more features like data prep into the recipe. So from now on, you can literally do any kind of transformation over here. And then at the end, we have either lens or dashboard. Lens is like a single chart or single representation. If we combine multiple lenses, then that would be the dashboard. Okay, so the simple step would be, first you must have a license. You need to buy that license. You need to assign the permission set to the respective user. Then you need to create an app in which you're going to work. It's more like an object in terms of Salesforce. Then you need to populate the data. You can connect the Salesforce data with simply one or two click. If there is a data in some other system, you can also connect that over here. Then if we want to perform any kind of transformation, you can use recipe to create data. The output of the recipe would be the Einstein data set. So we actually as I mentioned earlier, the data set is different. It's not a literal data set. It's actually, in Einstein we have a separate term called data set. So the data set is more like a output of either the recipe or a Salesforce object. If we connect that with the Salesforce, then at the end we can directly create a dashboard, or we could, the preferred way would be to first create it lens. As I mentioned, lens is actually a single representation of chart, and that at the end you combine all of these relevant lenses to create a single dashboard. I'm gonna show you a little demo so that you may also have. So let me know when you can you see my screen, my DTS sales.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, so as I mentioned here, this is my analytics platform. If I click in all items, the first tab over here is the apps. So if I just edit it, so as I mentioned earlier, we manage all of the security over here in apps. So as you can see here, we can you can assign with user, Salesforce group, and by role you can assign the relevant permission over here. And then in the apps, as you can see here, this is the sample app. We have the relevant data set. As you can see here, DTS opportunity is a data set that is bringing the data from Salesforce opportunity, and we have certain. Okay, so it should usually we have certain lenses, then we have certain dashboard over here. So each and everything uh, is gonna come under the under the app actually. So this is the sample dashboard, as you can see here. So actually as I mentioned earlier, let me show you a lens. So when I click a single dashboard, it's gonna create a single lens. As you can see here, this is a lens. As I mentioned earlier, that a lens is a single representation of the chart, and you can simply it's a very you know it's a very easy tool actually. You can create charts by single point and click. You can use filters of your own over here, and in case if you want a tabular mode, you have this values table. We have this pivot table. It doesn't just allow a pivot, it can also allow some other things as well. We also have a compare table, and let me show you one. It also uh, it also have this suggested charts, so we don't need to worry about that how to create. We can just select any of the respective chart, or we can select the charts of our own as well over here. Let me, let's say we have this particular chart. It allows us tons of customization over here. We can make a lot of changes over here. Let's say we have certain requirement in which we are unable to uh, you know present the data in a way we want to. Let's say so we have a query mode over here. It's a SQL like query in which we can transform the data using simple SQL into whatever way we want actually. There is one more thing. Let's say if there is any particular functionality and you are unable to find any point and click option, it also have a JSON level. So it's more like a metadata of the dashboard. So when I in my experience, I have to spend most of the time in one project. I have to spend most of the time over here because I was unable to meet the requirement with the you point and click feature. So I have to move over here at this metadata file, and I have to make ton different set of changing over here. So it's not like that we are only limited with the point and click features. So as you can see here, when I click anywhere, so these are like lenses actually, like this one represent one chart, this one represent one chart, or representation, and move on. So it also, as I mentioned in the slides, for the for the tabular view, it has like a separate functionality and separate set of uh, you know features over here. As you can see here, it has tons of feature, like for headers, spacing, themes, and other things as well. Okay, and now I'm going to move toward the data manager part. So again, as I mentioned earlier, we can connect to any data we want. As you can see here, so since it's a developer org, it's not a paid one, so it is not showing me any option. But let's say if it's a paid one, then in here, we we have an option called connect to Salesforce. We will what we can just connect to any Salesforce object with just one click, and then we are going to click that, and after that it will ask us which object you want to connect with, and it will automatically connect that objects and information into the Einstein. So after that, either you can use it directly, or in case if you want to transform, you can use this data flows and recipe over here. So about 1 or 2 years ago, before the acquisition of the data prep, the features of the recipe is very limited. We can't do a lot of things over here, so we have to use the data flow. So data flow is also a way to transform the data. But after the acquisition, now we can actually do each and every there may be like a difference of one or two feature, but other than that we can actually do anything we want. Here is a sample example of a recipe. As you can see here, this is the DTS opportunity that I have connected with the Salesforce. You can perform any kind of filters over here as well. You can transform it. uh, it has a lot of other things that I don't have time right now, otherwise I would have showed you. Then there is this aggregate functionality over here, which is like a separate one. And it also allows us to join that multiple data, append the multiple data under if we have certain condition, we can use that as well. And at the end, as I mentioned, that the output of the recipe is the Einstein data. So at the end, we are telling that that save this data in this app, and name that one. So let's say if we have saved this in this one, so it will come under the under the app. So uh, for for the demo perspective, is there any point that if you have any questions, or is there anything that you think I should tell more, or should I go back to slides?
I think that's great. I don't see any questions coming up here.
Okay. As I mentioned. Okay, so there is this another part which is called Einstein Discovery, which is the AI part. So it allows us to do the AI related thing with just one point and click. And one of the thing that which is like very futuristic is that it doesn't only do the AI, but it also allows us to download the code, which actually is being used in our prediction as well. And it also allows us to calculates in the AI we have certain matrices or a ways to to see how the algorithm is working. We can also compare those over here. Let's say you don't know anything about AI, so you can just trust the numbers and go with the number. Let's say if it has like more accuracy, then it is showing us the more relevant, the more accurate results. It also, as I mentioned earlier, it also allows us to do the sentiment analysis. Let's say we have text data, we want to understand how how it is representing us. Let me show you one more thing. So as I mentioned earlier, this is kind of like part of the AI discovery. So what you can do is you can select like a create story button and select the data set, and after that it will generate the story. It will tell us what the data is telling us, with just simple point and click. We don't need to do like anything at all. You can't just only do that. It also have if I have a discovery license, it will also show us the prediction over here, like that this particular data will have that particular value in that, let's say, time of period. As you can see here, it's kind of very extensive, and it is actually pretty cool. So in the beginning I mentioned that Einstein comes under three different licenses. One is for the analytics, the second one is for the AI, and the third one contains the board. But but we have certain add-on as well. Like let's say that you want to utilize the AI capabilities of for the Sales Cloud, then then Einstein provide us a separate add-on which you also need to buy for like $30 to $40 per user per month. It is a separate for the Sales Cloud. It is separate. If you have a Service Cloud and Marketing Cloud and Commerce Cloud requirement, you can use the respective add-on as well. So in the Sales Cloud, as you can see, these functionalities comes under the umbrella of the discovery part. So it has the built-in analytics part. You can configure the sales analytics app, and it will automatically transform the data into visualization as per your sales, as per its sales requirements. So it has its certain limits, like you cannot in the sales, you cannot use the custom objects. For that, you are only limited with the standard objects, and there is also certain data validation requirements. But other than that, it cannot do all of the dashboard and visualization part on its own with just single with just few clicks. It also have a lead, it also have a separate capabilities of the scoring one, lead scoring, opportunity scoring. It also I think, since we don't have time, so as you I guess I can just move forward. It has a separate Salesforce inbox and Einstein forecasting, which is a each and every one of them is a very different functionality, and it has its own benefits. So due to the time, I think the name is enough. In the Service Cloud, we have Einstein Bots, which is like as I in the previous we have heard that Einstein can also manage to understand the unstructured or semi-structured data. So in the bots we have like user English sentences. So Einstein can understand the English sentence data, and use that for use that to analyze what kind of question the user is asking, and then answer the relevant question. Sorry, answer the relevant answer to that. It also, there is another feature that is being recently rolled out, which is called Einstein Next Best Action, which is like a point and click tool for certain areas. And then we have recommendation system as well for uh, for case routing and things like that. So again, due to limitation, since we don't have time, so I'm going to Tableau CRM have its own certain limitations. Like one of the limitation is that you need like a separate license for the time series data, which is kind of which is kind of weird to me. But maybe it's kind of if you have time related data and you want to do certain operation, then you kind of need to add or buy the time series permission license. It also have it doesn't also support the multi currency for some reason. So as I mentioned in the recipe, let's say if you have a use case where you have a multi currency data, then you need to transform that data in either the data flow or recipe over here. The third and major one is the field level security. So we can connect the Salesforce data with one or two click, but the problem is that in Einstein we don't have the Salesforce type of field level security. In Einstein we have to manually set uh, either set the security on the app level, or we can also select the security on in the data flow. We have certain nodes over here, and we can say like this particular field should only be visible to this particular set of users. Again, that's a manual activity, but with the point and click, you can only do that using on the app level. And as I mentioned in the sales, for if you are using for the sales cloud, I guess, then it only supports for the dashboard perspective. It only supports uh, the standard objects, and there is a like a data requirement, like it must have certain activities and things like that. For the service, you can also use for the custom objects, I guess, but still it has certain data limitation as well. So that is it from my side. Do let me know if you have any question.
Thank you so much, Umar. Guys, that's a Q&A time. If you guys have any questions, please post it so that Umar can answer uh, for you. Umar, I don't see any questions. I will give 1 or 2 minutes more. So
And thank you, Umar, for the very much detailed session. That was really helpful when you include the demo and you did mention the limitations as well. That is thoroughly thought. Thank you so much for that. I know the time was short for you. I know because you have prepared for the longer session, having in depth. Probably you can create a small YouTube video and share with the team.
That makes sense. Thanks.
There's a question from Gulam. I have a question that what is the difference between Tableau CRM and Tableau?
Tableau CRM uh, is just so Einstein is just being renamed as a Tableau CRM. So Tableau CRM is nothing but the new name of Einstein Analytics. And the Tableau itself is a separate BI tool, which technically it's like a separate, like we have a Salesforce, we have like a MuleSoft. These two are two separate products. So just like that, we have a Tableau and we have a Salesforce. In Salesforce, we have earlier we have like we have Einstein Analytics Cloud. So now it is being renamed as Tableau CRM. And from business perspective, now they are saying that it comes under the umbrella of Tableau. It's not on technical level. Actually, it's not like that you are going to log in into the tableau.com and it will show the Tableau CRM over here. Tableau CRM option will only be available in the salesforce.com. I hope that answer.
Oh, that's great. That answered the question. And I believe that's it. We don't have any more questions. Right, great. So it's a quiz time, everyone, and thank you so much, Umar, once again. And I'm gonna share my screen with you, and you can join the quiz through there. And here you go. So it has the description how you can join this session. I can see many people already joined it. You can join it, but remember, only people who have filled the form and provide us the information will be only eligible to get the certification vouchers. So for this session, we got around 9 or 10 questions. So so we have got 4 certification vouchers for giveaway. And once you're ready, we're gonna start the quiz and probably trying to wrap it up as soon as possible. I'm sorry we cannot send the form again. There was a limited time. Sorry, Vinay, that. All right, I can see people are getting started. You, as you can see that on your screen while you will join this session, you can also find the questions on your screen and answers as well. You will be selecting the questions and the answers from there. And there's a limited timer on each question. So like 12 seconds for each question. And it's like a fastest fingers first. So whoever provided the answer first, the right answer first, will have more points at the end. And after every session, after every quiz question, we're going to show who is the leaderboard on the top, and after at the end we're also going to show who is going to be the winner. And for all the people who have provided us the information, make sure that we are only entitled to provide this information to Salesforce so that they can offer you the certification vouchers on the basis of your web access or email address. So um, we make sure that you have provided us the right web access or email address. I'm gonna wait for 2 more minutes and I'm gonna start this quiz. All right, so am I good to go? Should I start the quiz? Please let me know using this chat option. All right, then I'm gonna hit the start button and good luck, guys. All right, so the right answer is use ready-made dashboards. Khurram Rafi answered it right, and then Ahmed, Qadir, and Vinay. The right answer is diagnostic. And again, Khurram Rafi have answered it right. And the right answer is P, is like having a personal data scientist on staff. And again, Khurram has answered the first. The second one is Vinay, and then Munib Ahmed. The right answer is visualizing data. And again, Khurram Rafi answered the right, who's on top, and Munib Ahmed and Vinay. All right, again, Khurram Rafi has answered the right answer. Khurram, Munib, Khurram is on fire today. All right, the next one. The right answer is St. Elders. And again, Khurram answered all of the RAM, only the one that he was able to answer right. Three more questions for this one. The right answer is A and B. I'm sorry, that was very obvious. The right answer is check in and check out. And phone number fee is on top. It answers 5 out of 8 questions right. Vinay, Munib, and Ankit. This is the last question. The right answer is turn on time-based routing. And congratulations, Khurram, for being on top. You've answered 6 out of 9 questions. Munib Ahmed, Vinay, and Ankit, you are top 4. However, I'll see that who came top 4, who have provided us the information, they will receive the certification vouchers. Congratulations, everyone. And I hope that you have learned something. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good one. Keep learning.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you to the presenters. Bye.